Hello everyone, welcome to Business English with Balaji. It's a pleasure to meet you once again in one of my videos. And today we are going to interview one of an experienced teachers and teacher trainers. I'm very happy that she has agreed to be a guest today because she is one of my mentors, and it was such a pleasure to be mentored by her. To tell you a little bit more about her, she has been teaching for a few decades, and she has conducted teacher training sessions for a couple of international and private schools. Through some of the reputed language schools, she has conducted a number of teacher training programs for several schools in Chennai. And she has also conducted programs for LTI, and she has conducted these programs in Thoothukudi. She has also trained another teacher to conduct the teacher training programs in Rameshwaram. So by this time, you know that we are going to meet a wonderful person from whom you are likely to learn a lot. We are going to talk about teacher training, the methods of teaching, and so on. But before I reveal her name and uh, ask her to start speaking, I would like to quote something that happened when she was mentoring me. I was about to teach a young learners class for the first time. We discussed everything that I was supposed to do. We had a discussion for around 2 hours the day before. On the day before I was going to the class, we had a discussion for an hour, but the class was only for 2 hours. But we had the discussion for 3 hours. And even then, I wasn't certain. The best part was she never spoon fed me. She always asked me questions that made me think and asked me to come up with the answers. But at the same time, she did not let me handle everything on my own. She assured me that she was going to be around to help me. She was handholding me throughout the process. But this is what I like the most. She said that I'm going to sit with you in the class and observe the class. So if at all you struggle, I'm just going to step in and help you. But it was time for the class, and we are not allowed to be late to the class. So I had to get into the class and start teaching. And I thought she would join, but she didn't. So what happened was eventually I learned how to handle it. And during the break, she came in and she asked me this question. Do you really think you need me in the class? No, I'm perfectly fine. I can handle this. This reminded me of how the children are taught cycling. We say that I'm going to be around, I'll run behind you. When you know that they can handle it, you tell them that you will be around, but you are not around. That's exactly what happened here. And that I will never forget that. That was such a wonderful experience. It gave me the confidence that I can handle those wonderful children and teach them. So, with that said, let me say who she is. Her name is Asha. She has been working for several schools and language schools, and she has also mentored a number of teachers. I'm sure they all are thankful for all the mentoring that they got. So to start with the first question to Yasha, okay, before I ask the questions, thank you so much for agreeing to be the guest here. Welcome to
My pleasure.
my channel. And I'm very, very happy that some people are going to get benefited through you, through this program, based on the inputs that you give.
I really hope they do. And thank you very much for those kind words, Balaji. Sometimes you do a lot of things, but you don't realize that maybe you don't have time to stand and think, oh, yeah, this happened. But then when these memories are brought back, there's so much happiness when you know, oh, you made a small difference to somebody's style of teaching or way of teaching. You've taught them something or you've shown them something. That's nice of you to say that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, to start with, my first question would be about your teaching. And the first question that I would like to ask is, what do you enjoy teaching the most? Teaching young learners, teaching business English, or
Mm.
teaching general English? Which one do you enjoy the most?
Um, very difficult question because all these three come with their own challenges, their fun factor, and their own methods of preparation. But what I felt, hold on, Balaji, just a second. I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
Sorry again. Okay. So they all come with their own challenges, but I think the most challenging is the young learner class, um, because of the roles that you have to play in the class, because you're not just the teacher. You become the nanny, you become the babysitter, you become the negotiator, you become their playmate. You are, last but not the least, the teacher as well. And also, it's to be remembered that business English learners or general English learners, adult learners, let me put it this way. Adult learners come into the class with their own needs. They have certain expectations to be met. But young learners, they come in because their parents have certain needs to be met. But intrinsically, what they want is entertainment, engagement, fun. So how do you teach them, but also make their learning experience fun? So I think that's very challenging. And you cannot do a young learner class without being a clown or a joker or a comedian. You need that kind of, um, uh, you know, uh, go along with their mood or what they like. So it's very important to learn your uh, do your learner needs properly, but then it's also very important to make sure that they enjoy. So I think teaching young learners is the most challenging. But what I've also found that teaching teens is a little more challenging, because it's very difficult to crack them open because of their age, and they come with a lot of other responsibilities, which is, I think, too much stress on their shoulders these days. When I go into 15 to 17 class, the first question is, how was your week? And they say, oh, ma'am, too much work. 15 to 17. I didn't say such things when I was 15. I said, oh, what do I eat for dinner? What do I eat for breakfast? And where do we go next? So I think that's very challenging. With the other two, yes, it's fun. And teaching a business English class is, I wouldn't say fun, but it's very demanding. Um, you do enjoy that. You do enjoy the variety in all the three courses. But then the most fun yet challenging will be young learners for me.
Wonderful. And I'd like to ask you, what made you develop an interest towards teacher training?
Um, I think it comes from my experience where I started working in a school, where most schools those days, I'm talking about 1997 and 98, where there is not a lot of teacher training. Nobody pays attention to how you teach. There's no support, where, like, we work together at British Council, but there was so much support. You could share your plans, you could talk to somebody if you had problems, but that was missing in most schools. And think about the responsibility a teacher has. I mean, there are visible responsibilities, explicit ones, and also the ones that are unsaid, because most children, especially young learners, idealize their teachers. They are influenced by them very easily. I know, oh, my teacher says this, so I'm going to do this. Even a small single gesture or a question makes them, teachers are their heroes or heroines sometimes. I mean, I'll use the gender neutral word, but still, I thought, so as a teacher, you have to be conscious of certain things that will psychologically happen in a classroom, and it's important for teachers to know that. And at that time, not a lot of teachers knew it. I didn't know it until I was training for CELTA, or started doing my TKT. That's when I realized, oh God, there's so much happening inside a classroom, that too will young learner classroom. So I thought I had to give that benefit to teachers who are who want to take teaching as a serious profession. And I thought it's important for every teacher who enters a classroom to know that you are under a scanner. Every child has a different perspective. They're looking at you for something, and they're definitely going to take something from you. plus the teaching, the knowledge. I'll tell you one thing, Balaji, these days knowledge is everywhere. In the sense, if you want to learn a grammar element, just open a YouTube video. Why are they coming to class? They need that connection with a person who they can take a few things away that will benefit them. So there are lots of things that a teacher imparts even without her knowledge. So I thought that is very important. And also to be updated, I think. There's a lot of teaching methodology that's changing, ever changing, especially in ELT. And it's important for teachers to be updated. So I thought I don't, I'm not saying that I can teach everyone, but then it's important as much as we can reach to teachers to make them understand this is what you're doing. So I thought I need to choose this stream to help teachers, to support them in whatever ways I can.
Wonderful. And given all these factors that teachers have to take into account, is that too much pressure on the teachers?
Yes, if you put it that way, because and what kind of job doesn't have pressure, isn't it? And most teachers who choose this job, I can definitely tell you it's not very lucrative these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then they choose this in spite of all the odds. They love to do this. They want to teach. They want to train. And that passion, if that passion is your priority, then I don't think it'll be a pressure, but it is definitely a lot of pressure. Thinking about the preparation, thinking of your learner needs, what approach to use in a certain class to teach a particular grammar element or a vocabulary, or what top down, bottom up, what process should I choose? There is a lot of pressure because you do a lot of prep, as you said in the beginning. 1 hour of teaching, but 4 hours of prep. That is pressure. Yes, but I think it's about how much you learn from that that matters.
Great. And what is the biggest challenge that you faced when you trained teachers, and how did you overcome that?
I think the biggest challenge are teachers. I'm talking about mostly school teachers, I would say, is, or any teacher for that matter, not able to let go. I think sometimes we put so much emphasis or too much of importance on finishing the lesson or completing the lesson in class, meeting outcomes. I have to be in charge. I am in charge. It's good to know that, because there is classroom management, there's a lot of other things that goes along with that. But I think it's important to let go, in the sense, sometimes allow your learners to take charge. Let them tell you what to teach. Let them tell you, oh, you're going through the lesson and there's something that comes up and asks, oh, I don't know this one. So can you teach me now? Rather than, oh, hold on, let's finish this. Why don't you deal with that? Because that's a learning gap identified. And when you teach them that, you've given them the best learning experience of life. Because I didn't know this, now I know this. So I think letting go is very important, which means give certain amount of freedom to your learners also in class to choose. I think that was something I faced even when I taught in some of the schools in down south, even in certain excellent schools that produce brilliant results in 12th and 10th, still had learners not saying a word of what they like to learn or what they choose to learn in class. So I think teachers have that. What do you want to learn? Or do you like this? Do you want me to teach you in another way? Can we have a game now? So I think that's important. I think I'm focusing more on young learners and these teens, because adults, there is always a plan. But with children, they are still learning. It's formative years for them. So yeah, that's one challenge I face.
And how did you help the teachers to handle it?
Yeah, I forgot that element. What I do in most of my training sessions is after the training, we have something called a micro lesson delivered by the teachers. So, unless a teacher realizes that this is my style, so I have to do something and I have to change this part of my teaching, if they have to realize that they should do it. So, once you've trained them, if you give them a small window of like the performance bit, which is a micro lesson, 10-minute or 15-minute lesson each, um, giving feedback. Feedback is certainly important. So, as observers, when peers give feedback to them, then they try to understand, oh, fine, this is as simple as that, but it's also very important. I've asked the question, I've asked the preference of my learners, how much am I including that in my lesson? I think these practical sessions help teachers realize that. Because how much ever telling you do, unless they do, they don't realize it. That's one way I help them understand the importance of this one. Not just this, even when you teach them a new approach, when they are changing their methodology from probably presentation to communicative way of teaching. Oh, I'm talking too much, or am I communicating? Am I asking them the right questions? That happens only when they do a little bit of teaching in the class with their peers in the training session. So practical sessions help. Just a tiny micro thing. I've done TKT training for teachers, and that's one thing they enjoyed about the training sessions. Oh, I never realized I was good at this. Oh, this is very nice. I'm going to do this. So, yeah.
You mentioned about feedback from peers. What about the teachers who don't have much scope for that? How can they work on their own
I think
development?
having regular meeting sessions. Sorry, Balaji, the whole house is
No
active
issues.
and I'm not.
That's okay.
Sorry. So, can you remind me the question
All,
again?
all our viewers are also from active households, so I'm sure they understand. So, what about the teachers who don't have much scope to get
Yes,
feedback?
yes, brilliant. I like the question because I face the same kind of difficulty. But I think schools need to give more opportunities for, okay, not just schools, even if you're a teacher, you must be working in any institutes. How much time does it take to sit with another teacher and discuss your lesson plan? Or have a kind of, I would say, a post lesson discussion? Asking teachers to observe you, sit in my class for 20 minutes. Now, this minute, this bit, can you tell me how I did this bit? I think that is possible because unless you are a teacher or a trainer who does like you, you have your own channel and
Yes.
you run your own show, you own your business. Even then, you have your colleagues or even students to ask
Yeah.
for feedback.
Yes.
But if you want professional, you still have somebody like me. Or I think
True.
discussions are important. Nothing is impossible, I would say, definitely. This is very less in a lot of schools, but now it's becoming better. It's getting better. But the school needs to encourage, or any not university, I'm sorry, any institution needs to encourage teachers, give them that time to sit together. All right, how are you going to do this? Can we have peer observations? The whole concept of peer observation has not appeared in a lot of places, and then only we go to feedback, right? So I think we need that kind of regular sessions for teachers to sit together, put their heads together, discuss plans, come up with new ideas, and then go on to do feedback. Because suddenly when somebody comes, a stranger can't walk into your class and give you feedback. It has to be somebody who has sat with you, discussed your lesson, and come up with a lot of ideas, and then observe, and then feedback. So there must be a kind of system in place for any teacher. I think it's their responsibility to find out such avenues.
Wonderful. I like the way you put it as it's their responsibility to find it. Nobody else is going to do that for them. We can't sit
Yeah.
and wait for Christmas for that to happen.
Absolutely, isn't it? Because everybody, they have their own goals set, and they're all running, racing against time, and it's you. Sometimes it gives me that scare, Oh, I've not read something on ELT in a very long time, and then I look at the version, it's still 2002 or 2005, the book, and I'm googling, is there a latest version of this? So yes, I think teachers will have panic attacks the minute they realize they are not updated. So yes,
True.
so mm.
And what else can teachers do for their continuous professional development other than taking feedback?
As I said, keep yourself updated.
Mhm.
I think there are several streams of this.
Hmm.
Updated in terms of latest techniques in teaching,
Hmm.
updated in terms of reflection of yourself, how well you teach, updated on the personality that you are. I mean, I know some people are going to give me that stare when they say, "Why should you change your personality? Because teaching is your profession." But still, look at certain examples. You walk into a business English class, and if you are not able to talk a little about or let your learners know that I am updated about what the stock market looks like now, how are they going to accept me as an expert? If I don't go into young learner class and if they say Marvel and I don't know who that is, Thor, that's he has this big hammer, and if I say, oh yeah, I like him, but I like Hulk better. If I'm not able to say that, how will they accept me? Acceptance is important especially in a young learner class, but in any class for that matter. If you're not able to speak their language, you will not be accepted. So that's that kind of updation I'm talking about. So
Mhm.
first, attend conferences, be a part of uh, um, maybe if I'm talking about ELT,
Mhm.
IHFL or ELTA, or be a part of groups, attend forums, find out how teachers are teaching all over the world, be updated. Don't be left out from the mainstream of what you're doing. Second is reflect. Reflection is the best way to update. Reflection and observing other teachers, or um, being able to think, oh, I think I have to change this bit. How well did I teach? Maintaining a teacher journal to be able to reflect on um, how you've been progressing if you've set yourself certain goals. That's another thing. And the third is whatever you're teaching, your learners, um, try to know where they are from. Sometimes in class, you would have had that
Mhm.
experience, isn't it? When you translate something in Tamil, they immediately, "Ma'am, you speak Tamil." Of course, I am from Chennai.
Yes.
So, for example, there was this small example when one somebody said, you use the same word when you use an English word, you also say the Tamil word together. I think I said that's a wrong usage. For example, catch pudikkirathu. Ah, ma'am, catch pudikkirathu. How do you know? Yes, I was born and raised in Chennai. So that's, you know, certain things when you translate, or when you're, for example, when you're teaching present perfect uh, and past tense, I always use Tamil grammar structure. நான் பண்ணி இருக்கேன், நான் பண்ணுனேன். That is two things, past and present perfect. Take it very quickly.
Hmm.
So I think that's very important. They know that you know them well. That's very important. Uh, Again, in young learner class, a lot of experiences. You need to know. They wanted me to play music and some music while they were painting, and I asked them, "What shall I play?" I just played randomly uh, uh, a song, and then they said Blackpink. That's a Korean band.
Mhm.
And I said, Blackpink. Oh, so how you like that? And they're like, yes, that's a song. You know that song? Okay, okay. I said, no, we are not supposed to play this in class. But I'm happy that you're a Blackpink fan. So I made the connection. So
Mhm.
all this is important. Make sure you are with them. You know what they like, and yes,
I
know
think
your
speaking
learning.
their language and their and what they like, all of this leads to connection primarily.
And yeah, yes, absolutely.
And the most important question, I think I could ask the questions that I have asked so far to any of the teachers, and they would have their own
Mm.
answers. But this is what I want the answer from you so that the viewers can try this. What do teachers need to do to become a teacher trainer? If they want to take that path, what
Mm.
do they need to do?
Um, no, it depends on what their specialty is. If you're a new teacher, you would like to attach yourself to a center, I think that's the best way to get into teacher training, because then you have enough support. You can set yourself a plan, and the organization will stand with you to help you become a better teacher or a teacher trainer. So attach yourself to a center, and probably I would say you can also look at options like you, self-trained person. Um, and if you think I don't have that, hold on just a second. The laptop
Sure.
says something. Sorry, these alerts can sometimes put me off. Okay. Sorry.
Happens.
It was a
No
random
problem. Yeah.
update alert. All right. So the question was how to become a teacher trainer. Am
Yes,
I right?
yes,
Not just a
yes,
teacher.
yes.
All right. So even then, I think the answer will be attach yourself to the center first, because then you
Mhm,
get your support. But if you're specialized in something,
mhm,
then you can start your own, because nowadays opportunities are endless. You can start your own Instagram page, start advertising, start saying, okay, I'm expert in this, and you can go on and start a session. But what I would say is choose your area of specialization, because there's so much to do in ELT. Or when I'm talking about ELT, um, choose your specialization. Maybe young learner, maybe business English, or if you think you can engage, or you can do more than uh, two or three streams of this, uh, choose that, and you can go on and start your own online classes if that is what you like. Again, choose your preferences. What are your styles? Most people like face-to-face teaching. Some of them like to do it online. So think about what kind of experience you have. There are a lot of teachers who specialize only in business English, but if that is your domain, go on and try that. But I would say a thorough preparation, knowing the needs and demands of learners is very important before you do this. Yes. So start point should be from a center, if that's possible. But if not, yes, you have your own ways of uh, selling yourself and your business.
Great, great. So, as you also mentioned about online teaching, I would like to ask you,
Mm.
what do you enjoy about online teaching?
The freedom it gives to just sometimes, say, hey, wait, I just want to go and get a cup of coffee, which you can do even in a classroom. Uh, but I think the convenience is something that I like, because you don't have to travel. There is no pressure of uh, commuting, those practical difficulties that you meet when you travel. But otherwise, I prefer face-to-face classes. Um, Online is brilliant, because in certain cases, for example, if you're doing uh, short stints of one tiny module of email writing, one tiny module of something, you don't have to wait for a venue. You don't need, especially business English classes, you don't have to have a lot of games. So there's a lot of presentation or giving activities which you can do online, which is very convenient as well. So I think it depends on what you're teaching and to who you're teaching. The best thing is adults, and especially such specialism that you can do on online classes is the best way.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for answering all my questions patiently. I'm sure a lot of our viewers have a lot of takeaways, particularly the teachers who really want to take their profession seriously and want to get better at it. I'm sure they got a lot of inputs from you. So thank you so much once again for being here, taking your time out and answering all our questions. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Balaji. It was a great opportunity for me too. And I still wish we should do this. I mean, wish we could teach together and, sit and talk about the lessons, have our idlis and chapatis together as we discuss our plans. I just can't forget those days. It's amazing. It's been one of those lovely, beautiful, very short though, times
Yeah.
had with you.
As short
Yeah.
as 90 days, but still, kind of instead
But
of looking
still,
at
the
it as
impact.
3 months, it's 90 days. Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah, yes. Thank you very much for your time and thank you for having me, Balaji. It was a
Thank
great
you
opportunity.
so much. My pleasure.
All the best to you.
Thank you so much.